To understand the concept of constraint point, let us move into a point library that we have created. So this is a point library that we have created. Okay. So now if you observe closely into this peer substructure, you can see that the origin is located over here. So that is, the origin is located at the top center of this peer cap. Okay. So basically, you know that point library are the libraries that shall appear at specified points along the alignment. So now you need to assign this entire peer to a point. So now we need to define such a constraint point. Let us first define a constraint point. So let's go to the point option and let the constraint point be at origin location. Okay. So it is 0, 0, 0, that is origin. Okay. And now we need to assign this particular peer to the constraint point. So if you go to single point and then if we select the entire peer, and then you can select the constraint point, and now let us select the constraint point. Okay. And once we click on apply, then automatically the entire peer, it gets assigned to this particular constraint point. Okay. So in this, the point to note is that the origin coincides with the top of this particular peer cap. Okay. So next, let us click on the apply and then let us exit from this particular peer. Now let us move on to another peer. Okay. So in this particular peer, if you observe, the peer top is at a distance of 1 meter from the origin. Okay. So even in this case, if we just try to define a constraint point, let's go to point and then let's define the constraint point at the origin, that is 0, 0, 0, and let's click on apply button. Okay. And now we shall be assigning the entire peer to this particular constraint point. Okay. And let's click on apply button. Okay. And now let's exit from this particular peer library. Let us now consider one more peer case. Okay. So let us go to peer C. So in peer C, if you observe, the origin is outside the peer. Okay. And if you see from the top, you can see that the origin is located at a distance along the y direction from the center top of the peer cap. Okay. So in this case, let us try defining the constraint point at the top of the peer cap. So for this, let's go to point and let us choose this point as the constraint point. Okay. And now let us assign the entire peer to this constraint point. So let's go to single point. Let us select the entire target and let us assign it to this constraint point. Okay. And now let us go to the assembly unit. So in the assembly unit, we have already defined 3 points. So the peers shall be at the left point, middle point, and on the right end. Okay. So let us assign the peers. So let's go to point. So peer A, let it be at the first point. So let us select this particular point and let's click on add button. Okay. And let peer B, let it be at the end. Okay. So let us double click over here. Let us select the end point and let's click on add. And finally, the last peer, let it be placed at the middle point. So we have selected peer C. Let us select this particular point and then let's click on apply button. Okay. So now over here, if you see that we had 3 constraint points, we had 3 points along the assembly unit line. Okay. And for peer A, as the origin was at the center top of the peer cap, the peer got assigned over here. Okay. And for the peer C, as the origin was over here. Okay. So there was a distance along the y direction between the center top and the origin. The peer C got placed accordingly. And finally over here, for peer B, you can see that there is a vertical distance between the point and the peer. Okay. So basically what happens is that the peers shall be assigned onto the assembly unit based on the location of the origin. Okay. But the entire peer shall be constrained to a particular point based on our constraint point. Okay. So now if we just exit from this assembly unit mode, and if we just assign this assembly unit onto this alignment, so this is basically a straight alignment of 30 meters. Let us select this and let's click on add. And once you click on apply, then you can see that the assembly unit is assigned onto the layout. And over here, you can see something similar to what happened in the assembly unit. Okay. So basically what happens is that the point library, it shall be assigned based on the location of the origin. Okay. So over here, for pier A, the origin is at the center top of the pier cap. And in pier B, the origin is at a distance along the Z direction. And when it comes to the pier C, the origin is at a distance along the Y direction. Okay. So basically, whenever you are assigning the point library shall be assigned in the higher mode such as assembly unit or in the layout based on the location of the origin in the point library. And you need to assign the entire pier onto a particular constraint point. So I hope the concept behind the constraint point and the assigning of the pier is clear.